The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 134. Liu had changed back and forth under the water, so his clothes were pretty much drenched. After leaving the lotus pond, he walked with the children to the nearest veranda. He discovered that Xuěshān was standing guard there. Seeing Liu coming over, it happily wagged its tail at him. Leading the way, Xuěshān guided Liu to a nearby room. Inside the room was a lot of clean clothes. More importantly, there wasn't anyone else there. Liu understood that Xuěshān made this arrangement as he requested and felt very appreciative. He quickly changed into dry clothes. There were 2 doors in this room. Liu walked out using a different door than the one he had entered. Very quickly, a servant came over to guide him to see the former Duke of Chang'an. Xuěshān already invited Prince Li of the first rank over. Previously, Prince Li thought the former Duke of Chang'an was overthinking things and didn't want to recklessly enter the palace. However, after seeing the tiger seal in Xuěshān's hands with his own eyes, Prince Li immediately knew that the situation was dire. Prince Li examined the tiger seal over and over again. "Where did you get this tiger seal?" Prince Li asked. Liu answered, "It was retrieved from an emerald jade box that the emperor had broken himself." Prince Li had wanted to verify the hiding place of the tiger seal and use it to determine the trustworthiness of Liu's words. Looks like Liu wasn't lying. Prince Li asked Liu to explain again what had happened at Ganqing Palace. Liu cooperated and explained what happened thoroughly. When he reached the part about Princess Langya, Prince Li asked about it several times. This foreign princess had concealed herself inside the imperial palace for so many years, and even impersonated someone else. Prince Li was shocked. Naturally, he had to make sure to ask about it clearly. Liu understood this, and revealed everything that he had heard. Prince Li then asked, "Since Princess Langya had controlled Ganqing Palace, how did you manage to bring the tiger seal out?" This part of the story was suspicious in Prince Li's view. In regards to the emperor's safety, he couldn't allow any room for error. Liu was briefly stunned. How was he supposed to explain this? Liu thought for a moment and said, "His Highness raised a fish." He hid the tiger seal with the fish. Inside the fish tank there's a fake mountain, and then found an excuse to send the fish tank to me. I was originally staying at Jianqiu Hall, not in the same place as him. The guards of Qingqiu Hall weren't as strict as those at Ganqing Palace. Perhaps they didn't think I was a threat to them. After I found the tiger seal, I secretly slipped out to bring the news. This explanation pretty much completed Liu's lie. There were still holes all over it. Prince Li still wanted to ask some more proving questions, but Xuěshān hurriedly helped Liu out. He already put himself in great peril to bring the tiger seal out of the palace. In such an urgent situation, he might not have been able to remember everything clearly. What's the point of continuing this sort of interrogations? Saving the emperor is more important. Let's first discuss our plan of action. Liu gave Xuěshān a grateful look. Prince Li agreed with this suggestion. He immediately brought the tiger seal with the Duke Chang'an to the general guarding the city to summon the soldiers to rescue the emperor. Xuěshān was in charge of gathering the manpower inside the estate to support the rescue troops. Xuěshān was elderly. Moving around was inconvenient for him. Therefore, he oversaw the entire operation and commanded from Chang'an Palace. Liu definitely planned to participate in the operation to save his husband. There's no doubt about this. He still entrusted the children's care to Wang Shi. Dressed in a little riding outfit and holding a little slingshot in hand, De Bao marched his little short legs and walked over unsteadily. He clung to Liu's pant leg. "Kai save Grandpa," De Bao said resolutely. Liu's eyes got a little wet. He picked De Bao up and rubbed his face against the child's soft cheeks. De Bao, be good. He comforted him gently as he added, Grandpa will be fine soon. Li Yu sent De Bao back to Wangxi to the Chang'an Palace. When he saw De Bao's bulging riding clothes, he remembered something and went to look for Xuěshān. You want us all to wear heavy armor, helmets, and shields. Xuěshān was shocked. Attacking the imperial palace was extremely urgent. If they specifically wait to get those ready, there might not be enough time. Moreover, usually only troops had armor. The guards from the estate didn't have those. Li Yu explained with hand gestures, Princess Lange's troop uses a certain liquid that would. Not knowing how to explain corrode to ancient people, he thought for a moment and said, if it touched bare skin, it would cause people to rot all over and die. It's very powerful. I saw it once with my own eyes. We have to be extremely careful. So that's why. Xuěshān had been lectured by his own father since he was young. Although he wasn't afraid to die, it was still best to be as careful as possible. He ordered people to spread this news to the troops. All of the guards of the estate obtained shields. Those who had armor wore their armor. Those that didn't have armor wore heavy padded jackets. All the skin that was exposed outside was wrapped in heavy bandages. When possible, the plan was to kill using a bow and arrow and attack from afar. Xuěshān had his own gold armor. The formed Duke of Chang'an also had a set. Before they departed, he found it and gave it to Li Yu. Li Yu gave 1,000 thanks and then put it on. Everyone else had all gotten pretty much ready. Lastly, Xuěshān hugged his worryless and carefree daughter for a while. Looking back at his wife, the Princess of Jinju, she watched him back with reddened eyes. For a second, Xuěshān thought she was going to stop him. Unexpectedly, the princess said in a choked voice, "Be careful on the road. Come back quickly." Feeling warmth in his chest, Xuěshān nodded his head firmly. The princess was so conscientious that Xuěshān could only choke down the words of comfort that he had prepared beforehand. "Don't worry, I will be back soon." Xuěshān was convinced that the two of them would definitely see each other again soon. Prince Li and the Duke of Chang'an, along with the prestigious Tiger General in charge of guarding the city, led the troops together and hurried off majestically to the imperial palace. Outside of the gates of the imperial palace, the Tiger General pulled out the two halves of the tiger seal and joined them together seamlessly. Seeing the person who held the tiger seal was equivalent to seeing the emperor. The guards at the gates all knelt down and bowed respectfully. Those with ill intentions, the Tiger General gave orders to kill them on the spot. Princess Langya had to use over 10 years to build her Lulan force inside the imperial palace. Because she couldn't reveal her true identity, despite their expertise, there weren't actually a large number of people within this group. They had relied on a surprise attack to take over Ganqing Palace and sent false imperial edicts all over. On the contrary, most of the guards inside the imperial palace remained loyal to the emperor. When they saw the tiger seal, they immediately stopped resisting. The troops advanced unimpeded, like a hot knife through butter, winning every fight. Li Yu was still not very good at riding a horse. Xuěshān found a short donkey for Li Yu to ride. He also arranged for a squad of guards to station on the left and right side of Li Yu to protect him. Li Yu, who was impatiently swinging his little whip, "It feels like I'm the safest fish in this world." When the rebel army attacked back, Xuěshān brought the guards of Chang'an Palace and joined into the fight. It just happened that some of the escaping Lulan soldiers surrounded Xuěshān. In terms of combat skills, Xuěshān wasn't any inferior to Jing Wang. He used his sword to block and occasionally counterattacked. Not long afterwards, he injured one of them. This soldier pretended to be invincible and stabbed himself a few times, then charged towards Xuěshān. Li Yu was too familiar with the series of movements and hastily called out, "Watch out." Xuěshān raised his shield and blocked in front of his chest, completely stopping the corpse-dissolving liquid that this person had sprayed out. This liquid couldn't go through a heavy shield. Yet Xuěshān remained uninjured. The guards all imitated him and used their shields whenever they encountered the liquid. Nevertheless, some still accidentally splattered on the rescue troop. However, since they were all wearing heavy clothes, they'd just immediately get rid of the clothes to avoid being injured by the corpse-dissolving liquid. When they encountered Lulan forces again, Xuěshān directly drew a bow and shot arrows, not giving them the chance to play any more dirty tricks. The unique Lulan battle tactic was completely suppressed this way. Very soon, the rescue troops arrived outside of the Ganqing Palace. Princess Langya never expected that the rescue troops would arrive so quickly. She had wanted the emperor to consent to abdication. The emperor said he needed to consider it. Several hours later, he still replied that he needed time to consider it. Princess Langya practically wished that she could directly kill the emperor, but she couldn't. With the emperor's death, this nation would still end up in the hands of a prince or a grand prince of the Mu royal family. Wouldn't the strategy that she had been fermenting all of these years just end up being a stepping stone for someone else? After learning that the imperial capital's defenders had sieged into the palace, and figuring out who were leading the charge, Princess Langya's expression darkened. She ordered her subordinates to bring the emperor, Jingwang, and the two young princes outside of the side hall of Ganqing Palace. If she couldn't obtain the throne, then she will just kill the emperor along with his sons. When Prince Li and the Duke of Chang'an rushed over, Princess Langya still used the emperor as a hostage and screamed madly, "If you dare to take one more step, I'll kill the emperor without even leaving a corpse for you." Prince Li was worried about the emperor's safety. The rescue troops stood by right outside of Ganqing Palace, not daring to enter the main hall. The archers on the two sides waged battle, causing the death of another wave of soldiers. Princess Langya's troops were far less in numbers than the rescue soldiers. Very soon, her few remaining archers were also worn down. Princess Langya pulled out her sword and swung at the emperor, wanting to take the emperor down with her. Not too early and not too late, Jingwang blocked right in front of the emperor, pulling out a sharp dagger with his hand. He knocked away Princess Langya's sword and directly pressed it against her throat. Princess Langya's beautiful face lost color. Weren't you already weaponless?" Jingwang's sword was already taken away before he entered the imperial palace. The dagger that was hidden in his boot was also seized. That's why she had felt it safe to lock Jingwang and the emperor together in the same place. So, where did Jingwang obtain another weapon? Jingwang smiled faintly. "I was always carrying a dagger for protection. Before coming here, my princess consort gave me another one." If he didn't relinquish his weapon once, how was he supposed to make Princess Langya drop her guard? How was he supposed to get close to the emperor and obtain the tiger seal? When Jingwang pretended to give up his dagger, he had already figured out a plan to take down his enemy. Princess Langya laughed out loud at the top of her lungs. Seeing the emperor free from danger, Xuěshān seized the moment and shot an arrow towards Princess Langya. Jingwang's dagger also struck at the same time. Princess Langya was hard pressed. If she dodged the arrow, she couldn't dodge the dagger, and vice versa. Princess Langya revealed an odd faint smile. She dodged the arrow and slammed right into Jingwang's dagger. "There's no time to kill the emperor." "No time? Then I might as well kill Jingwang, who should have died a long time ago," Princess Langya mumbled. "Those of us from Lulan usually hit our most powerful move within our bodies. Snow Crow is nothing. The most powerful poison from Lulan is called annihilation." She smiled despairingly and sorrowfully and then suddenly used her sword to break the trigger within her body, shooting out spurts of liquid. Tianqi. Liu was far away, surrounded tightly by Xuěshān's subordinates. He couldn't run over and could only yell loudly. Princess Langya's movement was swift, however, Jingwang was vigilantly guarding against her at all times. Seeing her hold her sword like she was about to cut her own throat, Jingwang already knew it was a trap. Unaffected, he extended a leg and kicked over a table that was to the side, effectively blocking the corpse-dissolving liquid annihilation that was heading towards him. Princess Langya didn't dare to believe it. The move that the Lulans were extremely proud of was made useless just like this. Immediately afterwards, Jingwang sent her off with his dagger. Before Princess Langya died, she continued to stare at the emperor with a hateful gaze, still mouthing curses that only she could hear. Very soon, under the effects of annihilation, her body disappeared completely. The rescue troops broke through Ganqing Palace and wiped out the surviving members of the Lulan force. A flock of imperial physicians rushed over and scrambled over each other to assess the emperor's health. Head steward Luo, who had been imprisoned for several days now, was rescued from a nearby palace and ran over to kowtow to the emperor and paid his respects, laughing and crying at the same time. Jingwang forced himself against the tide and through the wave of people, searching relentlessly for that familiar figure. With a fleeting glance just now, he seemed to have seen Li Yu and also heard Li Yu's voice. However, after dealing with Princess Langya and the arrival of all of these people, he had lost sight of Li Yu. Jingwang continued to search relentlessly. A few guards noticed him and made a path for him. Jingwang immediately saw a donkey relentlessly spinning around in circles. On the donkey sat a person. It was Li Yu. "Tianqi, are you here? Come help me, quickly. This donkey won't stop." Li Yu, who discovered that after waving his little whip, the donkey refused to stop. Seeing Li Yu scratching his head in frustration, Jingwang couldn't resist smiling. Xiao Yu didn't know how to ride a horse. It looks like a donkey didn't work out very well either. End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 135. Li Yu also didn't know why this donkey wouldn't stop. Originally, since they had achieved victory over this hidden big boss, he wanted to fly tackle into hubby's arms and give him a loving octopus hug. However, this donkey had really dropped the ball at the most crucial moment. He felt like Xuěshān had found him a mill-grinding donkey. Once it started spinning, it just wouldn't stop. "Li Yu, I want off." However, he didn't dare to jump off randomly in his human form. There was still a little sweetie pie inside his stomach. Fish body had protection. Human form didn't. Jingwang watched this fish spellbound for a while before walking over. What's strange was that Li Yu had nagged several times about wanting to get off, but the donkey just completely ignored the person on its back, spinning in circles continuously. However, as soon as Jingwang came over, the donkey very mysteriously stopped. It couldn't be helped. Perhaps even the donkey could feel the protagonist's impressive aura. Jingwang grabbed the reins and said with a smile, "Xiao Yu, are you tired?" In this battle, Xuěshān was rather tired, running left and right, bleeding and sweating. Li Yu didn't run at all the entire journey and wasn't even on his feet. How could he talk about being tired? He wanted to say that actually, he wasn't tired at all. However, when he looked into Jingwang's heavy-lidded eyes, his throat choked up terribly. "I'm all right." Li Yu bit his lips, not knowing why he had changed his answer. Hubby was right in front of him. He really wanted to hug, but this donkey. Although the donkey had stopped, he still had a little trouble getting off. Jingwang's eyes were filled with love and tenderness. Xiao Yu said all right, that meant he was very tired, too tired. Jingwang practically wished he could hide this fish in his sleeve. However, they were in the imperial palace and couldn't do something like that. Jingwang smiled briefly and didn't say any more. Lifting the hem of his clothes, he sat behind Li Yu and carefully embraced him from the back. "Let's go home," Jingwang said. Li Yu liked to call the Jing estate home. Over time, Jingwang was influenced and also loved saying home. His voice was still hoarse. It was a little better than when he first began to speak. However, even though it was recovering, it probably won't completely sound like a regular person's voice in the future. Nevertheless, when this voice traveled into Li Yu's ears, tingly and numbing, it made Li Yu unable to endure it at all. Although Jingwang could speak, he wasn't very talkative at all. First, it was because he had to keep it a secret. Second, it was because he was used to keeping silent. Other than when Li Yu wanted him to practice, Jingwang rarely spoke spontaneously himself. Because of a certain bedtime exercise, he had once discovered that Xiao Yu was extremely sensitive to the sound of his voice. From then on, Jingwang started to, intentionally or otherwise, pick only that kind of time to whisper next to Li Yu's ears. To the fish, this was practically the feeling of ascending into the sky on a spiral and becoming an immortal. Li Yu's face turned red. Hubby's voice and touch from his waist both made Li Yu feel hot and bothered. "It's on." Fish's head was instantly occupied by colored trash. Li Yu had no choice but to cough lightly and asked, Is it all right for you to ride together with me?" Normally, a Wang rode horses. Riding a donkey might damage his imposing reputation. Also Li Yu really wanted to ask, could this donkey even carry the two of them? Jingwang didn't need his reputation and didn't care about the imposing dignity of a Wang. He sat behind Li Yu and extended his arms to hug Li Yu. Burying his face into Li Yu's shoulder, he took several deep breaths. This was his response. Since the hubby was like this, Li Yu was no longer in the mood to care about anything else. If the donkey failed to live up to expectations, it would not be his fault. Along the way, they came across Xuěshān. Xuěshān saw the two people sitting closely together on the donkey, his jaw almost fell off. He had picked the donkey according to Li Yu's stature. This donkey was well suited for Li Yu to ride. Yet Jingwang, a tall and sturdy man, was also curled up behind Li Yu, riding the donkey. This was just too. Xuěshān felt that this donkey really didn't have it easy. He also felt that the view of these two people sitting close together somewhat stung his eyes. "Xuěshān, we're heading back." Li Yu happily waved at Xuěshān. Xuěshān returned to his senses. "You two are going back just like this? What about the children?" Li Yu, oh. Li Yu smacked himself on the head. Lately, he's really been losing his head over sex. With the hubby next to him, he almost forgot about his sons. Heart and body instantly occupied by his sons, Li Yu was just about to turn around and head back together with Xuěshān to the Chang'an Palace to pick up the boys when Jingwang lightly chuckled. "Tell Wang Shi to bring the children back," Jingwang said swiftly. "Xuěshān, huh?" Xuěshān jolted at the abrupt sound of the voice that came out of nowhere. Looking left and right, he didn't notice anyone else. Xuěshān was just brooding to himself, who was that? Why did they suddenly start bossing this Lord Heir around? Li Yu very quickly understood the confusion radiating from Xuěshān and pointed at the person behind him with a smile. "Xuěshān." Xuěshān discovered an utterly incredible thing. Just now, it was Jingwang who was speaking? "Tianqi, you can speak now." Xuěshān was both shocked and delighted. Due to the emperor's wishes previously, Jingwang could speak but couldn't reveal it to others. Only the emperor, Li Yu, and a few others knew. Moreover, it actually hasn't even been that long since he was cured from the poison. Jingwang hadn't found a good opportunity yet to let Chang'an Palace know. Then this thing with Princess Langyai happened. Now that the Lulan force had been eliminated, there was no need to keep it a secret. Jingwang sat straight and nodded prudently. When Li Yu was at the Chang'an Palace, he only said that Princess Langyai had poisoned Jingwang, which caused Jingwang to be unable to speak after he was born. He didn't have the time to say that Jingwang had recovered completely. Now, he quickly explained in detail about how Jingwang had been cured of the poison. Xuěshān urged his horse and happily rode around in circles twice. He thought that if his father and his grandfather knew, just how happy would they be. Although Jingwang was using him as a messenger again and Xuěshān felt somewhat disgruntled inside, it's not like he's never done it before. What's the harm of doing it one more time? Yet Xuěshān rode on his horse, going even faster than Liu and Jingwang in his excitement. Vaguely he heard Liu complaining to Jingwang. Tianqi, Chang'an Palace's lotus pond is really very tiny. Yet Xuěshān. Liu was speaking the truth. Because inside this lotus pond, if he straightened out in his human fish form, he would pretty much touch the bottom. It couldn't compare to the huge pond inside the Jing estate, where he could swim however he liked. Liu only mentioned this casually. Jingwang also very casually remembered it. Later on, he ordered the builders to head to Chang'an Palace and help renovate the lotus pond a little. Although Liu said he wasn't tired, by the time they returned to the Jing estate, he was already leaning into Jingwang's arms, snoring away soundly. Even though he didn't really rush about, he was completely relaxed now. Adding the fact that he was being embraced by the person he liked, it was especially easy to feel lethargic. Jingwang carefully and quietly carried Liu off. The donkey felt completely unburdened. It was just about to bray on the top of its lungs when Jingwang shot a sharp, icy glare over it. The donkey immediately shut its mouth and allowed the Jing estate servants to lead it to the stable quietly. Jingwang carried Liu into the house and placed him on the bed. Examining him from head to toe several times and verifying that there were really nothing wrong with him, Jingwang finally felt reassured and stuffed Liu into a blue blanket with green trimmings. He also laid down and cradled this fish. Letting Xiaoyu deliver the tiger seal was really because he had no other choice. Jingwang felt very guilty. If anything had happened to Xiaoyu and the child in his womb, Jingwang definitely would have stabbed himself without the slightest hesitation. Fortunately, Xiaoyu and the child were both fine and everything was over. Jingwang hugged this fish. It was hard to imagine how he had passed the previous night inside Ganqing Palace, frightened out of his mind. The fish, who had gone to deliver the message to Chang'an Palace, must have encountered plenty of danger. He, who was left behind at Ganqing Palace, was filled with conflicting thoughts and torment. Liu grumbled slightly in his sleep. Originally he was sleeping on his side. However, this didn't seem too comfortable and he wanted to change from curling on his side to sleeping on his stomach. Jingwang remembered that the imperial physicians had said that pregnant people shouldn't sleep on their stomach. Therefore, he let this fish sleep as closely to himself as possible. Liu's hands and feet wrapped around his body, all placed in a comfortable position. Finally, Liu returned to sleep. Sleeping his fill and waking up, for a moment this fish still couldn't figure out if he was inside the fish tank or inside the lotus pond. Until he looked directly at hubby's sleeping face, he finally remembered that they had passed another hardship together. Very good. This time he had held firm and didn't get tricked at all. He also made a huge contribution. He made plenty of progress in comparison to when he was at the West Frontier. After passing this trial, Jingwang shouldn't have any more obstructions in his path to the throne. Liu observed his husband's handsome profile. The more he looked, the more he loved it. He leaned in to steal a kiss and moved away the arms and legs that he had wrapped tightly around Jingwang in the process. Now that the chaos that Princess Langya had created was settled, was it possible that the Share the Nation mission had already been completed? Liu took this idle time to enter the system. He discovered that the mission was still in progress. Did this still not count to complete the mission? Perhaps this rebellion incident was actually a warning from the system. Because if the villain had successfully stolen the throne, the quest of sharing the nation with the tyrant and the nation itself would have disappeared. Therefore, the system had such a distinct response. Looks like this mission still needed to wait for Jingwang to ascend the throne before it could be considered mission complete. Liu wasn't in a rush. Next, Liu quickly looked at the children through the fish baby's status's function. The children had all returned. Because he and Jingwang were resting, Wang Shi didn't want to bother them and voluntarily brought the little masters to play inside the estate. The 4 fish babies were currently playing hide and seek with Wang Gonggong. Liu smiled happily and left the system. When he came to, he discovered that the hands and feet that he had just separated from Jingwang were wrapped tightly around him again. Liu. If he remembered correctly, after he entered the system, he was stiff as a corpse. He shouldn't be so sticky. Was he still able to sleepwalk like that? No, wait. Liu discovered that Jingwang was actually the one embracing him, making the two of them pressed extremely close to each other. So the sticky person was actually Jingwang. How very cute. With a smile, Liu kissed the hubby briefly. He wanted to pinch the other's nose, and while Jingwang opened his mouth to breathe, Fish would fully display his French kissing skills. However, while the plan was perfect, in reality, he had just placed his fingers over Jingwang's face when Jingwang's tightly closed eyes opened suddenly. Liu. It wasn't me. I didn't. I wasn't planning to do anything naughty. The flustered fish was exposed with one glance and got kissed into a hot mess. The children were already settled. They were also already inside the bedroom. This could be considered as the right time, the right place and the right conditions. Ever since Liu learned about his pregnancy, he had been going vegetarian. Right now, he really wanted it very much and began tugging on Jingwang's belt very expressively. The couple were very close. Any minute changes in each other were very apparent. Jingwang glanced towards Liu's flat lower abdomen, recalling that he had once asked the imperial physicians, who said that during the initial stage of pregnancy, one should not have intercourse. Although Jingwang also desired it, he knew he had to restrain himself. It will be fine. Liu wanted to eat meat and did his best to persuade Jingwang. She's not weak. I swam around and even rode a donkey. We just need to go a little slower. It shouldn't matter. Liu had deliberately seduced Jingwang, but now that it was right before the battle, he was getting somewhat embarrassed. Fiddling with the corner of the blanket, Liu said with a red flush, although I'm not very good at riding a donkey or riding a horse, I'm still very good at riding. He gave Jingwang a coquettish glance. Although he had said the last words swiftly and softly, Jingwang had keen ears and still heard everything. In order to prove that he was very capable, Liu specifically switched to a more related position. The little perverted fish had his eyes lowered, eyelashes like the wings of a butterfly, fluttering nervously. His cheeks were scalding hot, ears pink, he looked so cute and delectable. With his gaze darkening, Jingwang sat up directly and kissed this darling fish, saying with a husky voice, "Then, let's give it a try." End chapter. The disabled tyrant's beloved pet fish. Transmigration. Chapter 136. The chaos caused by Princess Langya's rebellion has been settled. Because Princess Langya herself had already turned into a pile of corroded liquid, it inevitably fell to her relatives to bear the burden of the emperor's fury. The already elderly King Chang'an, Princess Langya's father, had knelt on the gold tiles of Ganqing Palace for an entire day and night, until he couldn't even straighten his back anymore and finally fainted. The real reason why he had sent his daughter into the imperial palace was to protect the rest of the Lulan people. He also wanted his proud and arrogant daughter to have a good home to go to. But he never imagined that Princess Langya would misunderstood his intentions and not only murder Empress Xiaohui and the fourth prince but would also attempt to usurp the emperor's power. Princess Langya had already attempted to assassinate the emperor before, causing all of the royal Lulan clan to be demoted to slaves. Her offense this time might not even be forgiven even if he used his own life as repayment. The emperor executed all of Princess Langya's subordinates. As for the other members of the royal Lulan clan, the emperor didn't actually eradicate them. Instead, he had dispatched them all to guard the tomb of Empress Xiaohui and the fourth prince, punishing even their descendants to forever atone for the crime. The emperor also bestowed the title of Wang to the first prince and fourth prince who had passed prematurely. As for the wet nurse Pulu, who had been threatened by Princess Langya and yet still secretly left behind clues for them and allowed Jingwang to ultimately receive aid, the emperor gave her a respectable burial. Princess Langya had a personal servant by her side who knew martial arts. They resisted until the last moment and was finally beheaded by the imperial guards. In the end, it was discovered that this personal servant could also change their face. However, this person's appearance itself was very average and unexceptional. So, it really made people feel strange why this person would change their face. This news reached Li Yu's ears through head steward Luo. Li Yu asked clearly about that person's appearance and inevitably recalled the personal servant who had forced Pulu to take the bag of snow crow. That personal servant had been missing all this time. Since Princess Langya was the main culprit behind all of this, then that personal servant in the secret memory had probably been found at last. Princess Langya had managed to catch the emperor completely off guard. This had alarmed the emperor that the imperial palace wasn't actually an auspicious and peaceful place. In order to completely expel the Lulan forces that had infiltrated into the imperial palace, the emperor investigated the backgrounds of every single person within the palace. With this investigation, plenty of old affairs were uncovered. The emperor had no choice but to deal with them all. After rectifying everything, the emperor's already indescribable mood became even worse. Although Empress Xiao Hui and the fourth prince were murdered by Princess Langya, the main reason was him. The emperor thought that if only he had made a decisive choice back then, or had been more vigilant and more careful, Empress Xiao Hui and the fourth prince might not have died. However, in this world, regretting couldn't change anything. He had already lost his wife and son forever. For several days in a row, the emperor had suspended the imperial court, as he was dispirited and listless. He was also not in the mood to deal with the harem. Head steward Luo had no other choice and could only secretly head over to the Jing estate to find another rescue troops. Since he served the emperor personally, he understood best that whenever the emperor was in a bad mood, the most effective option was to have the little heir step forth. This time, he planned to invite all four of the children over. Li Yu understood head steward Luo's difficulties. The emperor couldn't be trapped in self-criticism forever. There were still many political and military affairs that the emperor had to deal with. They needed to make the emperor recover as quickly as possible. However, if the emperor really continued to waste away like this, Jingwang might have to ascend the throne sooner. But Li Yu personally didn't really want Jingwang to take this kind of shortcut. Moreover, Jingwang and the emperor's relationship had already gotten much better than before. Li Yu really hoped that these estranged father and son could continue to improve their relationship. Jingwang also agreed with him. As soon as head steward Luo came, Jingwang nodded his head without hesitation. Li Yu crossed gazes with him and instantly understood Jingwang's intentions. In comparison to taking that position, Jingwang wanted even more so to maintain the hard-earned familial relationship between himself and the emperor. How wonderful! As expected of the man that Li Yu had fallen in love with. Even if his character setting was a tyrant, he had become more and more humane. Li Yu was very proud of his husband. If he had a fishtail right now, it would definitely be sticking up high in delight. Soon, Li Yu and Jingwang brought the children over to the imperial palace to visit the emperor. Needless to say that as soon as the emperor heard the children's chattering, the corners of his mouth couldn't help but lift up. With his little pink ball-like fist wrapped around a piece of candy, De Bao ran staggeringly towards the emperor. This was a delicious food that the fish babies had discovered recently, which tasted just as good as peach blossom cookies. De Bao impatiently went to share it with his imperial grandfather. Yeah, eat candy. De Bao placed the candy into the emperor's palm and then carefully patted the emperor's hand. Air Bao, San Bao, and Si Bao all extended their little hands over and opened them, each holding a piece of candy, though the food lover Air Bao only held a half piece in his hand. Eat candy, be happy. The boys clamored enthusiastically. It was originally their wet nurse, Madame Shi, who had said this while she fed the young masters. De Bao had a good memory and learned how to say it after hearing it once. He even taught his 3 little brothers. The emperor held the 4 children in his arms as tears streamed down his face. Although the candies that the children had presented were all covered in saliva, the emperor still finished eating all of them in the end. Even though the past was something unbearable to remember, he still had several grandsons. For the sake of these children, he needed to pull himself together. Tianqi, it's all thanks to you, the emperor said with a smile. Oh right, how come you didn't bring your pet fish today? The emperor's mood looked much better already. Seeing Jingwang, he recalled the loyal subjects that came to the rescue under the crisis that Princess Langya had created. Jingwang, Prince Li, the Tiger General, Ye Qinghuan, the Duke of Chang'an. Although the emperor was hard-pressed, he still kept everyone's contributions in his mind. There's also the Princess Consort Zheng. Although Princess Consort Zheng didn't know how to ride a horse, he still rode a donkey over to help with the rescue. Everyone all showed courage and integrity. The emperor decided to make a decree to commend everyone. Of course, he wouldn't forget the fish that had delivered the half-tiger seal. The emperor thought that this fish was very clever and remembered that Jingwang also liked this fish very much. When they entered the imperial palace this time, the emperor didn't see the fish, so he specifically asked Jingwang about it. Jingwang. Jingwang exchanged a look and smile with Li Yu and replied vaguely that fish was inside the estate. This fish was also a participant that had made contributions. The emperor didn't feel like there was anything wrong here. Although the fish didn't come, it still needed to be rewarded. The emperor, who was never stingy with rewards, said with a smile, "How about Zhen grant this fish the title of the best fish in the realm?" Li Yu. The best fish in the realm. Li Yu repeated it a few times internally. Jingwang looked at him with a smile. He felt that this title fitted Xiao Yu very well. Under Jingwang's approving gaze, Li Yu really felt too embarrassed. Moreover, the title of the best fish in the realm seemed to have an ambiguous meaning. Li Yu's thoughts weren't unreasonable at all. For example, the best lamb in the realm meant that the sheep meat tasted delicious. The best dumpling in the realm meant that the dumpling tasted delicious. Then, didn't the best fish in the realm meant SHH? Since the emperor's words were priceless, a bestowed title cannot be taken back. Therefore, with incomprehensible feelings, Li Yu accepted the title of the best fish in the realm. One day, Li Yu told Jingwang about this in a roundabout way which made Jingwang speechless. There was a good proverb that said, different people had different views. The benevolent sees benevolence, the wise sees wisdom. When it came to Xiao Yu, it's probably, the hungry sees food. But looking at it that way, the title wasn't wrong either. Jingwang licked his lips and said profoundly, "Fish is indeed very delicious." Li Yu. Li Yu brooded internally. Actually, ever since Jingwang started raising fish, he never ate fish again. So, why was he saying that fish tasted delicious now? Did Jingwang eat fish recently or something? Li Yu suddenly realized. The fish, who was not good at riding horses and donkeys but very good at riding a certain something else. He flushed completely red again. After experiencing the chaos with Princess Langya, although the emperor didn't get physically injured, his energy and spirit was clearly diminished. Before he could discuss national affairs with his court officials. Now, even hearing the 2 words national affairs gave the emperor some headache. But it's not like he could avoid dealing with the accumulating political affairs forever. The emperor's gaze landed on Jingwang. When he was being threatened by Princess Langya, Jingwang stepped forth several times. There was really no need for more trials at this point. He wanted a successor that conformed to his ideals. Only Jingwang was the most suitable and the most perfect option. Tianqi, since you're here, why don't you lend me a hand? The emperor said with a smile. Jingwang. The emperor ordered Luo Xuěshān to bring over all of the accumulated memorials. The emperor picked up his cinnabar brush and pointed at the reports, saying half jokingly and half seriously, "Look over these reports for Zhen, and Zhen will make you the crown prince." Jingwang. Liu. Liu felt somewhat anxious inside. They were already at this step. In terms of merit for saving the emperor, Jingwang had enough to receive 10 titles of crown princes. Why was the emperor still keeping the suspense and making Jingwang handle the reports first? Was he saying that if Jingwang didn't do it well, then he wouldn't make Jingwang the crown prince? Liu was also worried about Jingwang's reply. However, Jingwang really did want to be the crown prince. He wouldn't decline the emperor's request. Without a word, he accepted the memorials. The emperor actually really appreciated Jingwang's direct and straightforward manner. To the side, head steward Luo wiped away the sweat on his forehead continuously. He knew a crucial information, but he couldn't share it. The emperor had already written the imperial decree to make Jingwang the crown prince and had it prepared ahead of time. He was mainly messing around with Jingwang here. Head steward Luo felt that, ever since the emperor made his choice on his candidate for crown prince, he had become a bit unreasonable. For some unfathomable mystery, Jingwang suddenly became the emperor's unpaid worker and started to leave home early and return home late at night. Recently, Liu had been experiencing pregnancy symptoms and started to sleep a lot. Every day, as soon as the sky darkened a little, he would fall asleep only to wake up at almost noon the next day. Jingwang was snatched away by the emperor as an able-bodied worker. Liu had not been able to see even a shadow of his hubby day in and day out. He would always fell asleep while waiting for hubby to return. When he woke up, hubby was gone again. If his arms and legs didn't have a place to wrap around every night, he would have even started suspecting that Jingwang was staying overnight somewhere else. Fortunately, no matter how busy Jingwang was and how late he stayed up, he would always return home every single night without exceptions and cradle Liu to sleep. The accumulated political reports were finally processed. The emperor was extremely satisfied with Jingwang's performance. He was just waiting for Jingwang to say a few good words and his dragon heart would be delighted enough to legitimately make Jingwang the crown prince. However, Jingwang didn't beg for the position of crown prince. He only begged the emperor to allow him to return home earlier. Jingwang's attitude was also very resolute. Although the position of crown prince was important, in comparison, he cared about his wife and sons more. If the emperor made him the crown prince, he would accept the responsibilities, with no questions asked. If the emperor didn't make him the crown prince, he also wouldn't try to snatch it away from the emperor's hands. Xiao Yu had said before that what's yours would always be yours. If it's not yours, then you wouldn't be able to keep it even if you steal it. The emperor. The emperor also recalled how Liu lectured his children and sighed with a smile, "Why must you rush back to your estate?" The Jing couple's relationship was really very good. Back in the days, even the emperor wasn't this sticky with Empress Xiaohui. Jingwang was afraid that the emperor would misunderstand Liu and said after some consideration, "Liu is with child again. I'm concerned for him. Princess consort Jing was pregnant again." The emperor was elated. Not bothering with his little reminiscence just now, he swiftly sent Jingwang away and also ordered a group of imperial physicians to head over to the Jing estate. He told them all to listen to Jingwang's orders and to not disrupt Princess Consort Jing if he was resting. When Jingwang returned to the estate, Liu was currently laying on one of the rocking chairs in the courtyard, wrapped up in a grass-green blanket and snoring away. Wang Gonggong was playing Old Eagle catching tiny chicks with the boys. To the side, the pet rabbit was rolled up in a ball, chewing on green vegetable leaves. Two fat pet ducks were swimming in the pond together, shaking out their wings and quacking non-stop. There were also the boys who were laughing happily and chattering. Liu's ears were flooded with all sorts of noise. Half asleep, he heard Wang Gonggong talking with some unknown person. Our family's prince is now in high demand in the eyes of all the high officials and nobilities at court. This old servant heard that all of these officials who have beautiful daughters above the age of 16 all wanted to come to the Jing estate to become Jing Wang's concubine. What concubine? In his sleep, Li Yu heard mentions of possible love rivals and immediately became wide awake. End chapter.